Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, February 16th, 2024. My name is Sam Shalhoub, and it's time for your daily dispatch. First off, according to Leading Report on X, 85% of independent voters would vote for President Trump over Biden, according to the results of a New York Times focus group. Not very surprising there, is it? According to Zero Hedge, U.S. retail sales plunged in January, the worst year-over-year growth since the lockdowns. We've seen a lot of indicators in the economy as to what I think is going to be happening. Well, I think you all know. Is it going to be crash or collapse? Your guess is as good as mine. According to Connecting Anons and Dave Praying Medic, Biden claims he wasn't involved in the prosecution of President Trump, but 3 separate prosecutors reportedly met with White House aides before indicting President Trump. There's so much information coming out in concerns of the Biden family, the nefarious deeds and practices that they allegedly have been involved with. Well, it's all more and more is coming out every day. According again to Dave Praying Medic, John Podesta was behind the Biden administration's decision to halt U.S. liquefied natural gas exports. Well, it turns out his brother Tony Podesta is a lobbyist for foreign liquid natural gas companies. Not very surprising there. It's the same old playbook. These politicians get into office, they get into a position of influence, they leave politics, and the next thing you know, they're the CEO of some company or they're a lobbyist for some group. Well, all of that is going to be exposed, and they won't get away with it. According to the New York Post, the George Soros Fund, poised to take control of the nation's second largest chain of radio stations. This is a big development. Do they know something that we don't? Are they anticipating something that may be coming in terms of the internet and a possible problem there? Well, your guess is as good as mine, but that's very interesting. Now, this next story is very significant. BlackRock, the company, has followed the lead of JP Morgan Chase and State Street by withdrawing their over $9 trillion in assets under management from Climate Action 100 Plus, after facing increased antitrust scrutiny over their involvement with the climate cartel. More and more people are moving away from the supposed Green Deal. They're getting away from electric vehicles. Production of those vehicles, not just here in America, but around the world, is on a severe decline in many respects. According to Watcher Guru on X, a newly welcomed BRICS nation, Egypt, has officially ditched the US dollar for trade, opting instead to use local currencies. Now, let's not forget, 60, 70, 80% of all oil producing countries are now not willing to accept the US dollar in terms of buying their oil. The US dollar is done, in my opinion, at least the old US dollar. Now, does that mean the new currency coming in, which I believe the switch is going to happen fairly quickly and fairly soon? Now, whether that's today, tomorrow, a month from now, or 6 months from now, I don't know. But as we talked about yesterday, is there a slow transition already taking place? Well, it sure looks that way to me. According to Zero Hedge, the Air Force and Space Force unveiled a major overhaul to prepare for war with China. Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall said, quote, "We are out of time." That's a pretty ominous statement from somebody in that position. According to Bullion, Bitcoin, and BS, BlackRock and Fidelity manage over $10 billion worth of Bitcoin. You know, it's the old adage, follow the money. Well, if these companies are buying Bitcoin, there's a reason for it. And as I've said, this is not financial advice. And I am not a proponent of cryptocurrencies, but I am a supporter of Bitcoin. And this is another proof in that way of thinking, at least in my opinion. This next story, talking about Bitcoin specifically, if you'll remember, Elizabeth Warren came out and has been an adamant opposer of Bitcoin and how it's bad for us and it's evil and this, that, and the other. Well, yesterday, she signed a certificate to honor the Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto with a ceremonial flag flying over. Americans are forever grateful, is what it said. Boy, what a 180-degree switch on her part. But again, another indication of the validity of Bitcoin, in my opinion. This next story, we talked about Jeff Bezos selling so much of his Amazon stock recently. Well, he sold an additional $2 billion of Amazon shares, making the total 6 billion shares sold just this week. What do you think he's buying? Well, I'm sure part of it is Bitcoin. At least I wouldn't be surprised. So that's all we have for today. If you would like to support this channel, it's truly appreciated. You can go to mypillow.com and enter in the discount code SAM. You can simply buy me a cup of coffee. And there's other ways to contribute to the channel. It's truly appreciated. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk again soon.